Afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing well this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Afternoon, Miss Bridgewater. Do you have the SAP reset date for us?
I do. It is December the 12th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow.
Good afternoon, Francois. I hope you're doing well this afternoon.
I'm good, thank you. Hope you are as well.
Thank you.
We're gonna start with position number 1, Ms. Barnes.
Okay, and I see that we have the interpreter, Miss Chansey, on, just to let you all, if you didn't know that, know that. And so apparently they'll need to speak with someone today. So
That will be my client, Mr. Hernandez. Hopefully we can go to a breakout room, Your Honor.
okay, good afternoon, Miss Kim. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Ms. Barnes, good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? You're on mute there, courtroom two. Yes, do you agree to have your case heard by video? Can you hear me? Is this Tracy Barnes?
Yes.
Yes, and do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007422G with loitering and prowling. Who do we have on from pre-trial? Ms. Hardy, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Is there a history?
Oh, yes. This defendant has 70 arrest cycles in Georgia. Within the last 10 years, they have They have 2 misdemeanor convictions for theft by shoplifting, one in 2015 and one in 2020. 2018, there's a public indecency and obstruction of law enforcement officer. There are felony convictions for possession of controlled substance in 2002 and 2010. Their last arrest was August the 2nd, 2023 out of Cobb for theft by shoplifting. They're currently on probation out of Fulton County for theft by shoplifting. Those case numbers are 22 SC 181-1123 and 22 SC 184-273. There are 4 probation violations and 6 FTAs. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Mr. Peter Thomas, good afternoon.
Struggling to mute there. Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state in this case is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a stay away. Essentially, the facts of this case is that the officer was called to what appeared to be a shoplifting situation. However, she was not on scene at the time, but the employee told the officer that she had several items that she was taking to a cart. She actually left, looks like a brand of blinds. I think the specific brand, I guess it's not necessarily relevant, but it's a brand that Home Depot actually sells. She had those in possession. Once the officer eventually caught up with her and asked her if she had any receipts for the items, she did not have any receipts for the items that were sold at the Home Depot, as well as some of the other items that she had. And so the officer ultimately charged her with loitering and prowling.
Is there a stay away?
Yes, and so the stay away location for that Home Depot, it appears to be 5300 Windward Parkway in Milton, Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia.
Okay.
She's currently already on a $600 surety bond, and so the signature bond is not a major leap.
Ms. Kim, I will convert it to a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Level 1, stay away from the Home Depot on Windward Parkway, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
Yes, Your Honor, we have no objection.
All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Barnes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, whenever you guys are ready, I'm here with the Spanish interpreter.
Okay. So Ms. Kim, do we need for you and I guess jail court's iPhone and Ms. Chansey, we can place you all into a breakout room. And once we do that, if courtroom 2, if we can take some cases that are not Ms. Kim's cases.
Yes, not a problem.
Thank you,
Thank
Your
you.
Honor.
Positions 14 and 15, Palmer.
Good afternoon. Ms. Palmer, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You have been charged in case 23 CR 007411H with theft by taking, and in case 23 CR 007412H with theft by taking. Is there a history?
This defendant does not have any history at this time.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Tucker.
Good afternoon. The state would be asking for $1,000 signature bond on each charge, so 2,000 total, with a stay away from the Nordstrom at 3500 Peachtree Road. The facts allege she was taking the sensors off the clothes and sneaking back through the employee door.
Good afternoon, Ms. Atai. If it's okay with you, $1,000 signature bond through the jail on each charge. Stay away from the Nordstrom on Peachtree Road, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Atai?
Yes, Your Honor, we have no objections to that.
Okay, very good. Good luck to you, Ms. Palmer.
Judge, you said SOB, is it through the jail?
Yes, it is through the jail, $1,000 on each charge.
Thank you. Position 5, Cox.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Cox. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Can you hear me, Ms. Cox?
Yes.
We're doing this by video. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007430C with battery family violence. Is there a history?
This defendant has 2 arrest cycles in Georgia. The last arrest was March 25th, 2022 out of Douglas for forgery, and that case does appear to still be open. Nothing further to report.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on November 26, 2023, the officer responded to a fight in progress at the incident location of 20 Terminus Place, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia. The officer met with both parties, both the victim and the defendant. The victim's name in this case is Nikesh, Nikesh, Patel, Patel. The victim stated that, the victim stated that the defendant did intentionally push away from him during the argument that occurred, and that the defendant battered him and pushed him away, leaving multiple scratch marks on his neck that the officer actually observed. There were multiple scratch marks that were actually still bleeding at the time. The recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim, a stay away from that incident location. It does appear that they live together. In one moment. And with the completion of an anger awareness course, our office has been able to get in contact with the victim. Victim stated that they are in a relationship, they live together, but they share no children. I do believe that he may be on the call, so if at this time we can sound for him in accordance with Marcy's law, that we greatly appreciate it.
If this is Mr. Patel that's on the line and you wish to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, I don't know if can you speak up, Mr. Patel? I don't know if I can hear you.
You said Mr. Mateo?
Oh, the last name is Mateo?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
Mateo.
sorry. So let me make sure I get this right. Mr. Pierre Thomas, what is the name of the alleged victim?
Nikesh Patel is the name that's on the warrant.
Pateo and
Patel,
who is Mr.
Patel.
Okay, and I see two people on the screen. Is one of you Mr. Patel? You in the black shirt? Okay, now I'm not sure if I can hear you. You're not on, I don't see that you're on mute. Can you, you're not coming through, so I'm not able to hear you. May need to log out and log back in and to accept audio when you log back in possibly, but I can't hear him. Can anybody else hear him? Ms. Abden?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so
No, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Patel, you're gonna need to either log out and log back in and accept audio or try to fix it on your end. Okay, thank you. While he's doing that and I'm waiting for him to come back in, Ms. Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 22 years old. She's lived in Georgia for 12 years. She graduated from high school here in Georgia. She does have strong ties to the community. She is in a pretrial diversion program at this time for the prior case that pretrial read out earlier. She is doing job interview skill classes, and her last module is next month, so she'll be done with that soon. And she was able to get an interview for a host server position. It's supposed to be today at 2:30. Obviously, she's missing that, but I'm asking Your Honor to take that into consideration as she does have other job opportunities through this avenue coming through. She also is going back to school. She was going to school as a dental assistant, so she's starting that back up now. As for the allegations, she and Mr. Patel do not reside together. The incident location is his home. And I hope he does log back in because I did want to request no further violent contact. My client firmly denies the allegations. Neither party called the police. And actually, my client tells me that when the police arrived, she was trying to leave the home. So nothing happened, for lack of better words. And so we are asking for a signature bond, that be through the jail if Your Honor is inclined, and if not, pretrial services level 2 is the recommendation, and no further violent contact.
And Your Honor, if I could just point out that the offense date appeared to be the 26th, and on the warrant, it stated that Ms. Cox stated that they had been living together for over a year.
I have a separate address for her where she resides, that she provided me with. She's also stated she does not reside there full time. She doesn't even have stuff there anymore. So she doesn't even need to go back if that's necessary. But again, Your Honor, I am requesting no further violent contact.
My apologies. Mr. Patel stated, according to the warrant, that he and Ms. Cox lived together for over a year.
Let's see if we can hear Mr. Patel now, so maybe he can
hear me now?
enlighten us. I can hear you now. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so what do you want to tell me, Mr. Patel?
I'm not really sure what's going on.
Okay, well, apparently there are allegations against Ms. Cox that something went on between the two of you all, and that's why she is apparently here. Have you had an altercation?
Yes, sir, we did.
Okay, and did you find it necessary to call the police?
I did not.
Okay, and do you want to continue to have contact with her?
Yes, but I don't want any charges pressed against her, please.
Okay, well, that's out of my hand right now. This is a bond hearing. I'm trying to determine whether or not you all will have contact while she's out on bond, and I take it that you do want to have contact with her. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you afraid of her?
No,
Has this ever happened before?
no,
Okay, anything else that you want to tell the court?
no, sir.
Okay. As such, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Mr. Patel, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right.
Thank you,
Good
Your
luck to
Honor.
you, Ms. Cox. You're welcome, Ms. Abden, and you also, Mr. Patel.
And
All
Your
right.
Honor, what level is that for pretrial? Are we still doing that?
It'll be level 1.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Position 8, Doss.
Good afternoon, Ms. Doss. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Doss, you've been charged in case 23 CR 007424F with battery family violence. Is there a history?
This defendant has 18 arrest cycles in Georgia, misdemeanor conviction in 1997 for criminal damage to property. Last arrest was March the 1st, 2011 out of Fulton for a public order crime, 2 FTAs and 1 probation violation. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 2. Nothing further to report.
You got a brief facts of the case is that the defendant and the victim got into a heated argument. The victim stated that the argument got heated and physical when the defendant picked up a broom and struck the victim in the face with the broom, causing him to bleed. The couple have lived together for 8 years and have stayed together for 8 years. The recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim. The victim in this case is Mr. Clarence Willimas. Clarence, traditional spelling, it looks like on the warrant, it's the last name is spelled Willimas. The incident location is 1870 Campbellton Road, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. We're requesting a stay away, no contact, and the completion of a family violence intervention program. And if we can sound for the victim at this time, as our office has not been able to get in contact with him and in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated.
If Mr. Clarence Willimas is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Abden?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 53 years old. She's lived in Georgia since she was 6 years old, so she does have strong ties to the community. She is currently unemployed, but is actively looking for work. She does firmly deny the allegations. She states this was a misunderstanding. They've been together for 11 years, Your Honor, and they've never had prior instances of violence. As you know, my client hasn't been arrested since 2011, hasn't been in trouble. There's a low likelihood she will reoffend. She also has a stable address, and so she understands her obligation to return to court. And the bond is currently set at $5,000. Given the circumstances, she cannot afford it, Your Honor. I understand that the complaining witness isn't here today, and so if my client was ordered to stay away, she would be able to abide by that if necessary, but she does not have anywhere else to live. And so I've asked a social worker to go visit her, and I'm pretty sure they already visited her or they're going to help her with housing if that is the case. And so given all that, I'm asking for a signature bond through the jail. And a stay away is okay if Your Honor is inclined, but we are asking for no further violent contact.
Okay. It's my normal practice that if no one has spoken to the alleged victim, that I order a stay away. I'll follow that practice, but I encourage you to, if someone does speak with Mr. Willimas, we'd be happy to modify that if his desires are any different. It'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact at this time with Ms. Willimas, and to stay away from the Campbellton Road address. She can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that she might have. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Ms. Abden, I don't know if you have Mr. Willimus's contact information, but if you want to see if you can try to get that before the court session's over, I'm happy to reconsider if you or if someone from your office might be able to speak with him before the end of the court session, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
And as I said, I don't know if you want to speak with your client to maybe get that information. I don't know if she has it or not, but I'm happy to consider it, is all I'm saying.
Thank you, Your Honor. I did speak with her. Unfortunately, she doesn't remember the number. It's in her phone, and so we don't have any way to reach him at this time. But I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Good luck to you, Ms. Ross.
Position 6, Crumley.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Crumley. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007420Y with simple battery. Is there a history?
This defendant has 11 arrest cycles in Georgia. No felony convictions, a misdemeanor conviction for theft by receiving in 2019. Their last arrest was June 22nd, 2023, out of Fulton County for theft of services, simple assault, and theft by taking. That case says dormant bench warrant issued, and there's 2 FTAs. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR through the jail. Nothing further to report.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that the defendant is alleged to have committed the offense at 490 Whitehall Street, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. She's alleged to have made physical contact and struck the victim. Victim in this case looks like Shawnaka, SHAWNAKA, Ballard, BALLARD, in the face with a closed fist. Your Honor, our office has been able to get in contact with the victim. The victim is an employee at the Wings R Us, and the defendant was a customer. The victim stated the defendant got upset because she did not want to pay for sauce, and she stated that she attacked her. I do believe that the victim is on the call. She does not want any contact. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state, and this is kind of essentially based on the criminal history, the 2 open cases, and what I have for the 2 open cases are, she has an open 2023 this year, aggravated assault, terroristic threats, and a simple battery out of Fulton. That's 23 CP 223689. And then she also had a battery that I guess was reduced to a simple battery and simple assault, 2023 separate case in Fulton County, 23 CR 003963Y. I think that's the dormant warrant case. And so the state's going to be requesting a $1,000 signature bond. We think that she's a risk to reoffend. A no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a no contact with the victim in this case, a stay away from that incident location, and 1 anger management course. And if we could sound for Ms. Ballard in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Mr. Pierre Thomas, you said a $1,000 signature bond. Is that what you
I'm sorry,
meant?
surety. No, my apologies. Surety. Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Let's see, if Ms. Ballard is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so.
How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing well this afternoon, Ms. Ballard. If you'd like to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. You can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
I don't want her to be around me or her family, because her family threatened me like 10 minutes after the incident happened. I don't know how they look. I basically am feared for my life because her brother called my phone and threatened to shoot me in my face over the incident. So I have moved out of town because I don't know how them people look.
Sorry to hear that, Ms. Ballard. Let me see, do do you know Miss Crumbly?
No, no, sir.
Okay.
Her being a customer, no, sir.
Okay, so you just know her through Wings or Us as a customer.
Yes, sir.
All right. So she will certainly have to have no further contact with you, and she won't be able to go back to. Are you still working at Wings or Us?
No, sir. In fact, I quit that day. I thought she left the restaurant as far as, gone about her business or whatever. However, I went out to my car to put my things in my car and I had forgot my cell phone. That was the only reason I went back in the store. When I went in the store, she came behind me. We got to arguing. Well, she got out of her car. I didn't even know she was parked next to me, but she got out of her car and said some things to me, and I also said some things to her, but no physical harm or anything was transported towards each other at that particular time. When I went through the door, she came in behind me. She went one direction and I went another. She went over there towards the drink machine and I was going towards, because I seen my tip cup. I'm like, dang, I left my tip cup. I went to go reach for my tip cup and that's when she swung on me. So I never intended to hurt her that badly, but don't put your hands on me. I said that. Ain't nobody gonna put their hands on me, but I'm not coming back to Georgia because I don't know her family. I don't know what they're capable of. The threats were made, so it is what it is.
And all this was allegedly over some wing sauce?
A teriyaki sauce.
Thank you, Ms. Ballard. Who's representing Ms. Crumbly?
I'm your good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, Ms. McLeod. You're a bit shaky for me hearing you. Can you hear me all right?
Your Honor, is it okay if I turn off my video and see if it's a little bit better?
Yes, that's fine with me, Ms. McLeod.
Didn't hear you.
Oh.
Yes, Your Honor. My client denies the allegations. In fact, she tells me that the complaining witness actually stabbed her and that the police were called, but the complaining witness fled the scene. My client is 30 years old. She has 3 minor children that she takes care of, Your Honor. I would ask the court to consider giving her a signature bond so she can get out of jail and go home to take care of her 3 young children. She really has no reason to have any contact with this person, Your Honor, because apparently this was a dispute that occurred at a wing store. She doesn't have to go to the store or see this person again.
Okay. It will be $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Ballard, stay away from Wings or Us on Whitehall Street, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms.
Thank
Ballard.
you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, Ms. McLeod.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
What this means you really
Position 16, Rainey.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Rainey. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah.
Thank you. Ms. Rainey, you've been charged in case 23 CR 007413C with simple assault family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 13 arrest cycles in Georgia, felony conviction in 2006 for terroristic threats and acts, a misdemeanor conviction in 2011 for battery. The last arrest was January the 4th, 2012 out of Fulton County for a probation violation. They have 2 probation violations and the recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 2. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Sucker.
Yes, Judge. Based on the history, we would be asking for $1,000 good bond with no further violent contact with the victim Tyrese Rainey, as well as no drugs and alcohol while on probation. I do believe Mr. Rainey is on the Zoom today. Briefly, the facts are that during a discussion with his girlfriend and the mother, or excuse me, not the mother, but yes, they were ultimately trying to decide whether they could stay at the house or not, and that turned into allegedly Miss Rainey swinging a baseball bat at the victim.
Anything further, Ms. Tucker?
Nothing further. I'll defer to Mr. Rainey. It's our understanding that he is now saying that that didn't happen, that he just wanted her to leave, and he's now denying that.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Rainey. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What would you like to tell me, Mr. Rainey?
My mom did not swing no bat at me. It was nothing like that. It was the police was called because my mom wanted me to leave her house. She wanted me to leave her house because she was upset with me about something that had happened, and it wasn't that I was being disrespectful, but I was upset too. So we was having back and forth words. But my mom was trying to tell me to leave the house. It was my mom never hit me with the bat or swung the bat at me. She just pointed the bat at me, telling me to leave her house. And that's what I was trying to tell the police when they seen the video. My mom, only reason they seen the video is because my mom wanted me to leave the house. So she said some things to the police that wasn't true. But when she said it, I had showed them the video. And the video that I showed them, they took it in their own hand and thought that my mom was trying to hit me with the bat, because I never said it out my mouth that was happening. I never said my mom tried to hit me.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rainey. Ms. McLeod, is this your case?
Yeah, it is, Your Honor. And I would ask for signature bond for my client, Your Honor. This is her son. And she tells me that, just like her son said, that she did not hit him or anything, Your Honor.
Okay.
And this is her home, by the way. And she tells me that was because he was supposed to be there. She didn't want some regulations.
Okay, so you're going in and out on me, Ms. McLeod. Do they live together?
Your Honor.
Not really. He was staying days.
Okay, so I guess my question to you is that does your client, Ms. Felicia, want contact with Mr. Tyrese? I can't understand you, Ms. McLeod.
She does.
He does not?
She has no contact with another child.
Okay, I'm sorry, Ms. McLeod. I'm trying to get an understanding. If she does not want contact, that's what I'll.
She does.
She wants contact.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure, Ms. McLeod, I'm having difficulty placing it together, but it's my understanding that she does want contact.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm in a bad area. Yes, Your Honor, she does. She wants contact with her son.
Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to make sure of. It will be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Tyrese Rainey, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. She's getting a signature bond, Mr. Rainey, so I'm not sure what else you would like to tell me, but and you're all going to be able to have contact. Is there something else you need for me to know, Mr. Rainey?
Yes, I was just trying to see, like, what do I have to do to drop the charges, because I never pressed charges on my mom.
Okay,
and that ain't what I'm trying to do, because we can handle our family business.
This is just a bond hearing today. You'll have to talk with the solicitor's office regarding that, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to all of you all.
All right. Good luck to y'all too.
Thank you, Mr. Morrow.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Holly. Position 22, Wilson.
Honor, can we do the Spanish interpreter in
Oh,
courtroom
go-
3? Hey, Francois.
All right, Ocean.
Yes, that's fine with me. If
You just do my conscience. Miss Wilson, please.
I'm not sure if Ms. McLeod is trying to get my attention or not.
I was asking to do Miss Wilson. I'm sorry.
Oh, if you have nothing else before the court, Ms. McLeod, have a good afternoon.
I have Miss Wilson, Your Honor, Miss Wilson.
Oh, okay, all right, thank you. So we're gonna go to who is the in need of who's the gentleman that needs the Spanish interpreter? What position is that?
9, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Armando Hernandez Meza.
Good afternoon, Ms. Cheney. If you'll raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm to translate from Spanish to English and English to Spanish to the best of your ability?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Hernandez Meza. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Buenas tardes, señor Hernández Mesa. Estamos conduciendo la teleaudiencia para evitar hacia larga distancia. ¿Está de acuerdo con que tratemos su caso de este modo?
Sí, estoy de acuerdo.
Yes. Yes, I am.
You have been charged with battery, family violence, criminal trespass, and damage to property, and hindering persons making an emergency telephone call.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I don't have the information here, but you said,
Okay.
can you please repeat them?
Yes, battery, family violence, criminal trespass, and damage to property, hindering persons making an emergency telephone call.
Este tiene 3 cargos, golpes y lesiones, violencia familiar, también allanamiento de morada, daño a la propiedad, y el cargo tercero es por evitar una llamada al 911.
Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Hay antecedentes, señorita Hardy.
This defendant does not have any history at this time. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR through the jail.
No hay antecedentes penales para este acusado. Se recomienda el UGR a través de la cárcel.
Your
Your
Honor,
time.
brief facts of the case is that on Saturday, November 25th, 2023, the officers responded to the incident location.
Tenemos los antecedentes del 25 de noviembre que los oficiales respondieron para ir al lugar del incidente.
That incident location is 230 E Crossville Road in Roswell, Georgia.
El lugar fue en el 230 de East Crossfield Road en Roswell, Georgia.
It was in response to a physical domestic dispute between husband and wife.
Fue respondiendo a una disputa física doméstica entre el esposo y la esposa.
The victim in this case, the wife, advised that her husband had assaulted her the previous night.
La víctima en este caso declaró que el esposo la había agredido la noche anterior.
The victim advised that the defendant arrived to the house, slashed her tires and windows, and grabbed her by the neck and pushed her.
La víctima declaró que el esposo llegó y cortó las llantas del vehículo, rompió las ventanas y la tomó por el cuello.
She also advised that she had to use an unknown and borrowed phone because the defendant had broken her phone.
También declaró que tuvo que usar un teléfono desconocido debido a que el esposo le había roto a ella su teléfono.
The defendant admitted to breaking the victim's phone for various reasons.
Y el acusado admitió haberle roto el teléfono por varias razones.
Officer observed visible red marks surrounding the side and front of her neck, consistent with having been grabbed by force.
La policía, los oficiales de policía observaron un enrojecimiento en los costados y el frente de su cuello, lo que conducía a señales de haber tratado de ahorcarla.
The victim believed that the defendant had punctured her vehicle's tires. However, upon inspection, it appeared that there was just air let out of the tires.
La víctima percibió que el acusado le había cortado las llantas, pero cuando se confirmó, pareció que solamente se había dejado salir el aire de ellas.
The victim advised that she had just purchased a new phone because he had broken her previous phone.
La víctima alegó que ya había recién comprado su teléfono porque el acusado ya le había roto otro teléfono.
The recommendation from the state based on the criminal history is
La recomendación basada en los antecedentes penales es
a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
es una fianza bajo firma a través de los servicios previos al juicio y que quede prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
No contact with the victim. In this case, the victim listed as Gloria, Gloria Pedraza, Pedraza.
Que no haya contacto alguno más con la víctima, Gloria Pedraza.
And a stay away from the incident location. That incident location, I said it earlier, and the completion of a family violence intervention program.
Y también que se mantenga alejado del domicilio que nombré antes y que el acusado se inscriba en un programa alterno de intervención.
Our office has not been able to get in contact with Ms. Peraza, and if we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. Nothing further from the state.
Los oficiales de policía no han podido contactar a la señora Pedraza.
I saw Miss Peraza on the line earlier, but I don't see her.
Vi a la señora Pedraza en la línea, pero no la veo ahora. May I call her, Your Honor?
If you have her number, yes.
No, may I call her on right now?
Yes.
Ok. Señora Gloria Pedraza, ¿está usted en la plataforma? Por favor, prenda su cámara.
Right. She just had her camera on, so I'm not sure if she decided not to stay or not.
Would you like me to call her?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Miss Kim.
Yes, I would like to request for a signature on bond through jail as he was recommended, Your Honor. This is his first arrest.
Quisiéramos solicitarle una fianza bajo firma a través de la cárcel, dado que es su primer arresto.
Mr. Hernandez Meza is 54 years old and they have been married for 33 years.
El señor Hernández tiene 54 años y ellos han estado casados durante 33 años.
He's gainfully employed doing car metal construction, so he needs to go back to work.
Está empleado trabajando en la parte metálica de construcción y necesita regresar al trabajo.
We would like to request for a signature on bond through jail.
Quisiéramos solicitarle una fianza bajo firma a través de la cárcel.
Were you able to speak with Miss Pedraza, Miss Kim?
¿Pudo
No,
hablar con la señora Pedraza? No.
we were on the phone and we were about to speak and then it got disconnected, Your Honor.
Estábamos por hablar y se desconectó.
Okay, well, he's gonna have to, if no one has spoken with Ms. Peraza, he's gonna have to find another place to reside in the meantime. So
Si nadie habló con la señora Pedraza, él va a tener que encontrar otro lado a donde ir a vivir.
it will be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail for the battery.
Va a ser una fianza bajo firma a través de la cárcel de $2,000 por el cargo de golpes y lesiones.
$500 signature bond through the jail for the criminal trespass and damage to property.
$500 de fianza bajo firma a través de la cárcel por allanamiento de morada y destrucción a la propiedad.
$500 signature bond through the jail for the hindering person making an emergency telephone call.
Y $500 de multa bajo firma a través de la cárcel por interrumpir una llamada al 911.
Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through the jail.
Que lo que lleva a un total de una fianza de $3,000 bajo firma a través de la cárcel.
No further contact with Ms. Gloria Pedradas.
No tener más contacto con la señora Gloria Pedraza
Stay away from the incident location.
y mantenerse alejado del lugar del incidente.
He can go back to that location on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there.
Y puede regresar solamente una sola vez, escoltado por un oficial de policía para recoger sus pertenencias personales que puede tener ahí.
No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Y se prohíbe el uso de drogas, armas y alcohol mientras esté libre bajo fianza.
Good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
And thank you, Ms. Chance. We appreciate you being here this afternoon. If you don't have any further cases, have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Who do we have next?
Position 22, Ms. Wilson.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Wilson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Wilson, you've been charged in case 23 CR 007419F with theft by taking. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant is a multi-state offender with arrests out of Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama. Felony conviction in 2019 for theft by shoplifting. I'm sorry, misdemeanor conviction in 2019 for theft by shoplifting, 2022 petty theft, 2021 theft of merchandise. There appears to be a hold out of Huntsville, Alabama, and also Defuniak Springs, Florida. The last arrest was July 29, 2023 out of Bay County, Florida for burglary, possession of burglary tools, larceny. That case appears to be open. They have one FTA and one probation violation. Nothing further to report.
Stucker.
Yes, Judge, we would be asking for a $2,500 good bond with a stay away from Sephora at 3393 Peachtree Road. The facts of this case are pretty basic. They took perfumes, put them in their bag, and walked out the door without paying. What is so concerning is the history here. I have at least 5 convictions for shoplifting or petty theft out of Florida, Alabama, Tennessee. The want out of Huntsville, Alabama is for shoplifting. I've got various other arrests. And for those reasons, we'd be asking for that $2,500 surety bond.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tucker. Who's representing Ms. Wilson?
Your Honor, this is also a conflict case.
Okay, is this,
Excuse me, Judge, Ms. McLeod said that was her client. Did she sign off?
she might have fallen off. Good afternoon, Ms. Grace. So let's see if we can get Ms. McLeod back.
I will.
Okay, thank you. And Francois, if we can go to someone else until we get Ms. McLeod back on the line, please.
Yes, that's fine, Judge. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Put me in the first, back in the first row. Position 20, Tenny.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tenney. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Tenney, you've been charged in case 23 CR 007417G with a vehicle to drive on the right side of the roadway, possession of an open alcohol container, driving while your license was suspended or revoked, reckless driving, and driving under the influence of alcohol. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 12 arrest cycles in Georgia, misdemeanor conviction in 2005 for possession of marijuana less than an ounce, in 2018, driving while license suspended or revoked. The last arrest was April the 28th, 2023, out of Forsyth for driving while license suspended or revoked, 2 probation violations, and 2 FTAs. Nothing further to report.
Tucker?
Yes, I would be asking for a $7,500 good bond. $7,500. Okay, making sure I'm getting it right. It will be a 500 on the first charge, the driving on the right side of the road, 500 on the open container, 1,000 on the driving while license suspended, and then 500 on the reckless driving and 5,000 on the DUI. And let me know if we need to mess with the numbers. But ultimately, the officer saw this car driving completely erratically, swerving left, right, and ultimately coming directly at him in his lane. So the officer did a U-turn, a full U-turn to track this person down. When they found the car, the defendant was sitting outside of it. He asked him, "How much have you had to drink?" The defendant admitted a lot. He had a bottle of brandy in the driver's seat. He said, "Please go easy on me because I'm trying to get my license back," meaning he knew his license was suspended. He's got multiple suspensions. You heard he has a driving while license suspended conviction out of 2018. He's got another arrest out of 2019 for driving with license suspended. I have noted a license suspension and a DUI arrest from 2004 that was null prost. But for these reasons, this defendant knew not only should he not be driving, shouldn't be driving drunk. And for those reasons, we're asking for that $7,500 total good bond. I think I botched the breakdown, but the $7,500.
You got the breakdown right, Ms. Tucker.
Okay.
Right. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 41 years old and he is gainfully employed at Atlanta Peach Electrical Company as an electrician, Your Honor, and he's not qualified for public defender services. So today's my representation is only for the purpose of the bond hearing. And he was born and raised here in Georgia. He's not going anywhere. He's engaged. He's not a flight risk. We would like to request for maximum $1,000 good bond. Thank you.
Okay, for the first charge, right side of roadway, a $250 good bond. Open container, $250 good bond. License suspended, $500 good bond. Reckless, $500 good bond. DUI, $1,500 good bond. Makes for a total of a $3,000 good bond. No driving without a valid license, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Tenney.
Thank you.
You said the total was 3,000, good bond.
Yes.
Thank you. Position number 4, Canizo.
And I see that Ms. McLeod is back whenever you want to retake up that case.
We can do it now.
Okay, Ms. McLeod, are you with us? You're on mute, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Okay, unfortunately, we got through most of Ms. Wilson's case before we realized that you were not with us. I'm happy to go back over the history if you like for me to do that.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to hear the history.
Okay, Ms. Hardy, would you mind going back over Ms. Wilson's history, please?
Okay, that defendant is a multi-state offender with arrests out of Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama. Misdemeanor conviction in 2019 for theft by shoplifting, 2022 petty theft, 2021 theft of merchandise. There's holds out of Huntsville, Alabama, and Defuniak Springs, Florida. The last arrest was July 29, 2023 out of Bay County, Florida for possession of burglary tools, larceny. That case appears to be open, 1 probation violation and 1 FTA, nothing further.
Thank you.
The state has recommended a $2,500 good bond, stay away from the Sephora on Peachtree Road, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Did I get that right, Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, thank you.
Okay. Yes, Ms. McLeod.
Your Honor, my client is currently not employed. She tells me she has 3 minor children, and she also takes care of 2 of her grandchildren who are months old. I think one of them just turned a year, and one is about 4 months old. So she has a lot going on, Your Honor. So if the court is not inclined to give her a signature bond, which I gather the court might not be inclined, given that she has history in some other states, I would ask for the lowest possible bond, Your Honor, a $1,000 good bond.
Okay, it'll be $1,000 good bond. Stay away from the Sephora on Peachtree Road, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Good luck to you, Ms. Wilson. Let's see, before I let you go, Ms. McLeod, I got a note that DeMarcus McPherson needed a conflict attorney. Did we get?
Yes, I have spoken with him.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you. So
I just spoke with him.
Okay, we'll be with you. Thank you. Who do we have?
We can do him now, Judge. Add
Okay,
on position 2, Mr. McPherson.
thank you. And that's your last case, Ms. McLeod, is that right? Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. McPherson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007432E with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 10 arrest cycles in Georgia, felony conviction in 2019 for robbery and aggravated battery. Appears that they're on probation for that case. The number is 17 SC 149100. There's also an open case for criminal trespass, theft by shoplifting, and obstruction of law enforcement officer. That case number is 22 CP 214517. There's 2 probation violations. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 3. Nothing further.
Thank you. Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. So it's my understanding that this defendant has been incarcerated since the 17th, and that this case, It's based on a warrant from September of this year, and it was bound over with that other case that we mentioned, the shoplifting and everything, and that this case just kind of fell by the wayside. So for those reasons, we would be consenting to a signature bond or no bond by way of the Riverside issue here. I do believe that the victim, Tyshonda Bell, may be on the call and may want to speak. But other than that, the facts allege that, there was an altercation. She did end up with some visible injuries. And based on the Riverside issue, we're asking for that signature bond.
And
If
we're
Miss Bell-
the bond.
Okay, so let me see if Ms. Shonda Bell is on the line. If Ms. Bell is on the line and wishes to address the court. Okay, so it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Shonda Bell, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Your Honor, they share 2 small children, that's my understanding, or at least 1 small child and 1 on the way.
Okay, so do we know, have you had well, I'm sure you haven't had the opportunity to speak with Ms. Bell, is that right?
Correct. We've not made contact.
Okay, given the date.
Your Honor.
Say it
But
again,
I
Ms.
can try to.
McLeod.
He had indicated to me that she was on the Zoom.
Okay, I think that I might have seen her earlier, but I do not see her at the present time. It will be no further violent contact with Ms. Bell, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. And that concludes my business for today. May I be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon, Ms. McLeod. Thank you.
Thank
you. Good luck to you, Mr. McPherson.
How are you too?
Position 4, Canizo.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Canizo. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007429G with disorderly conduct, simple battery, and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Harding?
This defendant does not have any history at this time and is recommended for UJR level 1. Nothing further.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on November 25th, 2023, the defendant appeared at McDonald's located at 1465 Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell. He was in an agitated state because his order was taking too long to be made. He then began to yell insults at the employees and threw sauce packets at the employees behind the counter. He threw an energy drink at a specific employee, that employee being Harold McGee, who was the victim in this case. The victim stated that the beverage actually struck him. The defendant also struck a chair, causing said chair to need a replacement. The price of said chair was approximately $50. Our office has not been able to get in contact with the victim, but if we could sound for him at the conclusion of the state's request, that'd be greatly appreciated. His name is spelled Harold, traditional spelling, McGee, M-C-G-E-E. The recommendation from the state, given his limited criminal history, is a signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with Mr. McGee, a stay away from that specific McDonald's, and the completion of 1 anger management course.
Mr. McGee is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Okay, Ms. Kim, if it's okay with you, it'll be for the disorderly, a $500 signature bond through the jail. For the simple battery, a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. For the criminal trespass, a $500 signature bond through the jail. Makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Mr. McGee. Stay away from the McDonald's on Holcomb Bridge Road, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good luck to you, Mr. Canizo.
Thank you.
You're
Position
welcome.
21, Williams.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. I'm Judge Eric Moore.
Yes.
Yoshika, I apologize, Miss Williams. Good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007418Y with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has one arrest cycle in Georgia. Their last arrest was January the 10th, 2020, out of Fulton County for theft by take. And that case was no pros. They're recommended for UJR through the jail. Nothing further.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, the state would be recommending a $2,500 SOB through the jail to complete an anger awareness course, to stay away from 311 Scott Street, Building 12, Apartment 70, and to have no further contact with the victim, Chandrek Williams, SHAWNDREK Williams. The facts allege that there was an altercation at the mother's house, that they were both doing some laundry and started fighting each other. She held up her arm so that she would stop hitting her, and then the defendant started biting her on the chest. There were ultimately bite marks on the chest, scratch marks above the ear, and visible injuries in multiple places. So despite the lack of history, we are, or in consideration of the lack of history, we are asking for that signature bond, but we are asking for $2,500 with a stay away as well as no further contact.
If Ms. Chandrika Williams is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Kim, who is Chandrika Williams to Yashikia Williams?
They are sisters, Your Honor, and they do not reside together. And 311 Scott Street is actually my client's place, her house. So she would like to return home.
Where does the mother live?
Mother does not live with her either, I believe.
Okay. So it'll be a $2,500 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Chandrika Williams, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. I'm not going to keep her from her house, but she's not to have any contact with her sister until this is resolved.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, good luck to you, Ms. Williams.
Position 11, Perez Lima.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Perez Lima. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007428H with simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass. Is there a history?
This defendant does not have a history at this time and is recommended for UJR level 1 through pretrial. Nothing further.
Thank you.
My apologies, Your Honor. The recommendation from the state is actually a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact, a stay away from the incident location, and the completion of a family violence intervention program. The incident location is 3400 Riverwood Lane in Roswell. The victim's name is Jean Matto. The allegation is essentially, as it relates to the criminal trespass, is that the defendant cut up a shirt, I believe, with a pair of scissors. Also that the two parties are husband and wife. I believe they got into some sort of altercation as it relates to the child that they share, and looks like she caused him physical harm to the back of his neck. If we could, our office has been able to get in contact with the victim. The victim advised that she and the defendant are married and that are actually in the process of getting a divorce, and they no longer live together. They share that one child. She states that she never wanted to press charges and is surprised that the defendant was arrested. The victim also stated that sorry, one moment. She stated that he and the defendant have been in contact since the incident, and everything is good. I believe that they are on the Zoom call. If we could sound for them in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Okay, Mr. Jean Carlos. Yes, good afternoon, sir. Are you in a safe location to talk with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you can raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell me?
First of all, this incident happened back in September. So when the officers showed up, they didn't took her to jail. They spoke to their supervisor, and the supervisor, because she has no record, this was the first time ever that police has been called to the apartment. We've been living together for like 9 years. We have a 7.5-year-old daughter. And the supervisor said that everything was fine and they were just going to leave it at that. They left. At that time, I decided that I was going to move out. So I left the house and I handed the key right in front of the officers, and everything was at that. So all this time passed, and then all of the sudden last night they came pick her up, saying that she has a warrant on her name when I didn't press no charges and everything was supposed to be left at that. And the address, that's where she lives. So that's the address where we used to live together. But like I said, since that incident happened, I left. We're not together anymore. We do get along each other. We almost talk every other day because of our daughter. We sing each other when I go pick it up my daughter and drop her off. So our relationship as parents, everything is perfect. But we're not together as a couple no more. And yeah, I don't fear for my life or any of that.
Okay, thank you, sir. We appreciate you being here this afternoon. With that said, Ms. Kim, if it's okay with you, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Mr. Carlos Mateo, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, will you
Alright.
break that down, please?
Yes, 1,500 for the simple battery and 500 for the criminal trespass.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, Ms. Perez Lima, and you also, Mr. Carlos.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Position, this is gonna be on an add-on, position 1, Marion.
Good afternoon, Mr. Marion. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're completing by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007433Y with reckless conduct. Is there a history, Sardi?
This defendant has 3 arrest cycles in Georgia, felony conviction in 2003 for armed robbery, hijacking a motor vehicle, aggravated assault. 2013, possession of cocaine with intent. The last arrest was September 26, 2013, out of Fulton County for the possession of cocaine with intent. They received 4 years of probation on that. There appears to be a hold out of Milledgeville for forgery, and the date of that warrant is September 14th, 2023. Nothing further to report.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, the state would be asking for a $10,000 good bond in this case with a stay away from 1871 Plaza Lane, as well as no drugs or alcohol or weapons while out on bond. This is a reckless conduct charge. The facts allege that a witness, a a neighbor in the apartment saw the victim in an altercation with someone in a car, in a silver car. The victim came up in the car, tried to kind of hit the defendant, and that's when the defendant went inside, grabbed a gun, came out, and shot the car twice. So the car went peeling out. Now, the witness does not know who was in the car, does not know who that victim is. Because we have no victim, we can't charge this with aggravated assault. So at the current time, it's charged with reckless conduct. However, you heard that this is a convicted felon. In 2013, does have a conviction for possession of cocaine with intent. So I'm not positive that this will remain a misdemeanor. It may be elevated as a felony possession of a firearm by a felon. But at this time, it's charged as reckless conduct, and that is the reason for the $10,000 surety bond as well as the stay away.
And where is this 1871 Plaza Lane? Is it a business? Do you know?
That is an apartment complex.
Okay.
Yes, and that's where the witness was a neighbor.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tucker. Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 39 years old. He lives with his father and grandmother at a different location, 6915 Oswego Trail. The criminal history is nonviolent. It's from 10 years ago. He's born and raised in Georgia, and denies the allegations. The warrant states that 2 shots were fired. He does state that somebody tried to run him over with their car. So we're asking for a signature bond. He's recommended a level 2 UJR.
Ms. Hardy, are you still there?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
What year was the armed robbery, assault, and those other charges?
2003.
Okay. Given that he has a hold, I am going to release him to that hold. It will be a $20,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from 1871 Plaza Lane, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Million.
Judge, you said 20,000 or 2,000?
20,000.
Thank you.
19 Smith.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007416E with criminal trespass. Is there a history?
This defendant has 7 arrest cycles in Georgia, a misdemeanor conviction in 2023 for violating the family violence order. Their last arrest was November 21st, 2023. There are 4 open cases in Fulton County. Those case numbers are 23 CR 007246E, 23 CR 005610E, 23 CR 004860E, 23 CP 222117. It also appears that they're on probation. And that case number is 23 CR 003493A. Nothing further to report.
Can you tell me what the other cases, the charges are, and what is the charge on that? Do you know?
I'm sorry, say that again, Your Honor.
The 4 open cases, what are those charges?
Okay, so the first one, ending in 246E, that one was criminal trespass.
Okay.
And then the next one is criminal trespass, acts prohibited on a rail station, obstruction of law enforcement. And the next one is public indecency and criminal trespass. And then the last one is obstruction and criminal trespass.
And he's on probation for what charge?
The probation case is for a battery.
Thank you. Yes, Ms. Tucker.
Yes, we would be asking for a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, with a stay away from MARTA. I don't believe he's a good candidate for a SOB through the jail, considering he's been permanently banned from MARTA, issued September 18th, 2023. So he knows he's not supposed to be there. On this particular date, he was seen pushing through the gate without paying the fee. So he knew he wasn't supposed to be there. You know, you've heard the history, and for those reasons, you'd be asking for a signature bond through pretrial.
Ty.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is only 21 years old. He does not have a place to live, and you see the 4 criminal trespass, the open cases, just stems from him not having a place to live. Because of that battery, he was not able to return to his home. So we're asking for a signature bond through the jail.
This is what I want to do with Mr. Smith. It seems like there's an issue with the criminal trespasses. I would like to have a social worker visit him, Ms. Atai. Given the number of criminal trespasses, I'm not comfortable giving him a signature bond. So it'll be $1,000 signature, $1,000 good bond. Stay away from MARTA. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. If he does not get out, he will be placed on the December 12th SAP calendar. I would like, if we can make a note of it, Ms. Bridgewater, for maybe all of these cases to be placed on that SAP calendar, so maybe we can dispose of all of this at that time. Ms. Atai, if he doesn't get out, also, if you can make sure that the social worker reports and that we can help him with a place to reside. I don't want him to keep just getting out and coming back and getting arrested again. So let's see if we can get some services to assist him so that we can deal with maybe what the underlying problem is.
Yes.
And so
Thank
Ms. Bridgewater, if we can make a note to place all of those open cases on that SAP calendar. Let me just take a look.
Will do. So that'll be a total 4 cases going on that calendar.
5 cases in addition to this case.
Well, I only see 3 by his name on this calendar. I'm showing 23 CR 007246E, 23 CR 005610E, and 23 CR 004860. So are there others that's not posted on here that I need to be aware of?
I do see one more, but it is a CP number, so it's with the Superior Court.
Okay, so Your Honor, there will be a total of 4 that I'm showing going to the SAP calendar.
Okay, and I would like to see Mr. Smith because I believe I've seen him in the past. I'm not on the calendar on the 12th, but I am on the SAP calendar on the 5th. Can we get him placed on an add-on calendar, possibly on
the 5th?
On the 5th of December?
I'll make it happen.
Okay, so Mr. Ty, if you would please contact whoever it is that's on that SAP calendar, let them know that I specifically asked to see Mr. Smith and that I want to address whatever open cases he has with the state court at that time. And again, possibly get him some services so that if he does get out, he has a place to go to. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I did request for a social worker to visit him.
Okay, all right, very good. And all right, good luck to you, Mr. Smith. I will see you back in a couple of weeks if you don't get out, okay? And I will see you personally.
All right. Thank you, y'all. Stay blessed.
You also.
Position 17, Ross.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Ross. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007414E with certain acts on a bus rail station out of prohibited and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 24 arrest cycles in Georgia. Misdemeanor conviction in 2015 for obstruction of a 911 call. 2019, obstruction of law enforcement and theft by shoplifting. There appears to be a hold out of Valdosta. The last arrest was November 17th, 2023 out of DeKalb for theft by shoplifting. They have 5 probation violations and 1 FTA. Nothing further to report.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge. The state would recommend a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial on each charge for a total of $2,000 through pretrial. The facts allege this defendant has an active 60-day MARTA suspension. It's currently suspended through January 15th of next year, and he was seen urinating on the platform. So based on the extensive history, I don't believe signature bond through the jail is appropriate. That's why we'd be asking for that $2,000 signature bond pretrial.
Okay, Mr. Ty, if it's okay with you, I'm going to release him to the hold. So it'll be a $500 signature bond through the jail on each charge. Makes for a total of $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Abide by any active MARTA suspensions. Before he gets out, if you can also have a social worker visit him just to make sure that he does not have any issues with housing and no drugs, alcohol, or drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Mr. Ty?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Ross.
Position 18, Roy.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Roy. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Roy. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007415A with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant is a multi-state offender with arrests out of Georgia and North Carolina. They have a felony conviction in 2023 for entering auto and financial transaction card theft. They're on probation for that, and the case number is 22 SC 185029. There's a felony conviction out of North Carolina in 2018 for breaking and entering. Their last arrest was February the 7th, 2018 out of Greensboro for breaking and entering and habitual felon. Nothing further to report.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, we'd be asking for a $1,000 pretrial bond or signature bond through pretrial, as well as to stay away from the Chevron at 180 Ponce de Leon Avenue. This case is a case where this defendant showed up at a Chevron. He's been told multiple times not to be there, so he knew he wasn't supposed to be there. Based on that, as well as the history out of North Carolina, we're going to be asking for that pretrial signature bond.
Ms. Atai, I'm going to have it go through the jail. It'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Chevron on Ponce de Leon, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you?
Yes, Your Honor, and I just do want to state that this client is also residentially challenged, and I did request a social worker for him.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Mr. Roy, I'm going to let you out, but you can't go back to that Chevron, okay? If you go back, they're going to call the police again, and you're going to be right back here, and I'm not going to let you out if you come back, okay? But I'm going to let you out this time, okay? Just don't go back to the Chevron.
I understand.
Okay, very good. Thank you, sir.
Position 13.
Hey, how's it going?
Yes, I'm doing fine, Mr. Morrill. I hope you are as well. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
All right. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007410A with simple assault and reckless conduct. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 2 arrest cycles in Georgia. Their last arrest was September the 4th, 2022 out of Fulton for theft by shoplifting. That case appears to be open. The number is 22 PF 006251. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR level 1. Nothing further to report.
Doctor?
Yes, Judge. The state would be asking for a $5,000 surety bond, a $1,500 on the simple assault, and a $3,500 on the reckless conduct, as well as to stay away from 332 Breeze Meadow in Fairburn, Georgia. That's 30213, as well as to have no further contact with Jaleel Walters, who I know has been on the Zoom for a very long time. So we'll let him speak in just a moment. But briefly, this incident occurred at this location. It's pretty much a squatter house, the way they described it. So Mr. Walters wasn't staying there, but it is his home. He was having a package delivered to the address. So when he went up and was looking, speaking to some people about the package, where is the package, whatever, an altercation started. And it actually ended up in Mr. Walters and the defendant on the ground in a shuffle. Mr. Walters did have a gun, in which case the defendant had grabbed, and it went off twice in this shuffle. Now, an additional witness, Reginald Lee, was there and grabbed the firearm and kind of was told to take it away so that nobody else would get shot. When this gun is going off in the middle of this altercation, Mr. Lee took the gun, and that's kind of what happened. The victim has spoken with us. He stated that he was punched in the face. He sustained a busted lip and his face was swollen, that he doesn't want any contact with the defendant. And just based on how dangerous this really could have gotten, and it's very serious, even just punching, we're asking for that total $5,000 surety bond.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker. Mr. Walters, if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. I'll need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can, Mr. Walters. Would you like, are you able to activate your camera for me?
Yes, sir. Let me try. Let me see. I don't. Let's see. Stop. They saying my video is stopped. I don't see where to go back and start my video.
His Grace have we disabled his video?
No, sir, I didn't.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
All right, very good. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes, sir.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
Pretty much what the lady stated, what Miss Tucker stated, that was pretty much true. Like I said, I was there to pick up a package. It went left. I don't even know Mr. Morrell. I was there talking to someone else, and I was stole off on the right side of my face. And after that, the fight for the gun started. So yeah, no, I don't need no further contact with him. I don't know him. I don't feel like I'm in danger or anything. That day was the only day that I felt like, it could have been my life or his life. So that's all I have to say.
Whose gun was it?
Oh, it was my firearm.
Okay. And the Breeze Meadow, what is that? That location?
It's a house.
Okay, and you were delivering a package to the house?
Oh, yes, I had a package delivered, and I
Okay.
had proof of that. I had proof of that package that I showed to the officers to show them that I wasn't just there for any reason. Which they seen that the package was delivered to the front door, but everyone in the house they didn't. They claimed they didn't know what the package was.
Okay, so this isn't a place where you reside full time.
No, sir, I don't stay there. I do not stay there.
Okay, so you stay somewhere else.
Yes, sir.
So why were you having a package delivered to this Breeze Meadow?
I was there. I was there in the month of September when I found out the house was a squatter house, which wasn't told to me by the person that I was doing business with. I went ahead and removed myself and all my belongings out the house immediately.
Okay, so then you had a package that you knew was already being delivered to this address, and you went to retrieve it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you had an altercation with Mr. Morrell
Yes, sir. As
at
I was
some
talking
point.
to, yes, sir. As I was
Okay,
talking to,
go ahead.
yeah, as I was talking to the person that I was doing business with through renting a room through that house, he he someone accused me of taking something of his that I did not, and that's when he stole off on me on the right side of my face. I'm a security officer, so my uniform setup looks like police officers. My gun was on the left side of my hip. He decided to, once he stole off on me, as I turned my back, I'm finna walk out. That's when he went for the gun. That's when the altercation over the gun started.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Walters. We appreciate you being here this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 34 years old. He has no violent history. We're asking for a signature bond through the jail. He strongly denies the allegations. The warrant states that the complaining witness arrived at the location to retrieve an Amazon package with a loaded weapon. So yes, that is a dangerous situation. This was my client's home. So he was attacked by the complaining witness, who shoved him and said, "I'll find my Amazon package myself," when they told him that they don't have the Amazon package. My client was shot in the leg during that incident. So he's actually afraid of Jaleel Walters, and of course would not have any objection to a stay away. And he doesn't reside at that location. He resides at a different location. He states that the week prior, Mr. Walters was at the home and pulled a gun on someone else. He states that Mr. Walters threatened him and his mother at the Walmart to shoot them. And he also states that Mr. Walters has 2 of his phones and a birthday gift that was at the home. So we're asking for a signature bond through the jail.
Okay. And you say that Mr. Morrell does have a place to reside.
Yes, he does. He resides at 451.
Okay, you don't have to put it on the record, Mr. Ty. Let's see. It will be I'm gonna put him through pretrial, so they will need where he resides. I just didn't want you putting it on the live YouTube record.
Yes.
For the simple assault, it'll be a $2,500 SOB through pretrial. For the reckless conduct, a $2,500 SOB through pretrial makes for a total of a $5,000 SOB signature bond through pretrial. Level 1, stay away from the Breeze Meadow address, no further contact with Jaleel Walters, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Morrell, I'm going to allow you to sign your own bond, but you are going to have to make sure that you show up for your next court hearings to address these matters. Good luck to you, sir.
I can't wait. We got to get him off the street. He gonna kill somebody.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Morrell. You have a right to remain silent, so let Mr. Todd do the speaking for you, okay?
All right.
All right. Good luck to you, sir. You also, Mr. Waters.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who do we have next?
Position 12, Jones.
Yeah, that boy gonna kill.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, you've been charged in case 23 CR 007431J with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 3 arrest cycles in Georgia, misdemeanor conviction in 2016 for criminal trespass. Their last arrest was November 30th, 2022 out of Roswell for disorderly conduct. The recommendation from pretrial is a UJR through the jail. Nothing further.
Yes.
Brent Jones?
Yes, position 12.
Okay. The brief facts of the case is that on November 25th, 2023, the officer was dispatched at the incident location for the criminal trespass. That location is 665 Jones Avenue, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. That appears to be lost and found youth. The officer spoke with Mr. Deonta Boykin, who was in charge of the property. Mr. Boykin stated that he runs the nonprofit organization, which is a housing for the homeless. Mr. Boykin stated that the resident came to the location intoxicated. He stated that the resident was acting belligerent towards him and other staff members. He also stated that that kind of behavior is against the policy and that he could no longer reside there and had to be removed from the premises. Officers escorted him from the premises. The officer drove away from the location, then observed him in the rear view mirror walking back onto the property, at which point the officer turned around and went back to the property and found the defendant arguing with Mr. Boykin on the front porch. Given the limited criminal history, Your Honor, and the nature of the charges, the state will be recommending a signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a stay away from that incident location. And I don't believe there's a victim to sound for in this case. And matter of fact, if he can have no contact with Mr. Boykins, Deonta Boykins, DIONTA BOYKIN, Boykin, that'd be greatly appreciated, Your Honor.
Any objection to any of that, Ms. Abden?
No objection, Your Honor. Just a question. It's a criminal trespass, so there is no complaining witness, correct?
So the complaining witness will be the business, right? And so here, specifically, he was trespassed for having the argument with the employee of the business. And so if he could have no contact, because that contact was itself kind of combative.
I got you. Okay, I got confused. He would not object to that, Your Honor.
Okay. Does he need to go back to the Jones Avenue to retrieve any belongings?
No, Your Honor. And he, I've already connected him with a social worker. I'm hoping that they were able to see him sometime today.
Okay. As such, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Jones Avenue address. No further contact with Mr. Boykin, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Jones.
Yes. Position 3, Callaway.
Good morning, good afternoon, third, ma'am from third. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Callaway. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir, yeah, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Callaway. You've been charged in case 23 CR 007427F with criminal trespass, theft by shoplifting, possession and use of drug-related objects, obstruction of law enforcement officers, and simple battery. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has a total of 116 arrest cycles in Georgia, felony conviction in 2012 for obstruction of law enforcement, and attempted removal of a weapon from an officer, 2012 possession of cocaine, 2019 possession of cocaine, 2007 criminal damage to property. Their last arrest was October the 11th, 2023 out of Fulton County for criminal trespass and theft by shoplifting. They're on probation. The two case numbers for those cases are 23 CR 003301Y and 22 CR 002877G. There's also two open cases. The first one is for obstruction of law enforcement and criminal trespass. That case number is 23 CP 219279. And then theft by shoplifting, 22 CP 214228. 4 probation violations and 1 FTA. Nothing further to report.
Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on Saturday, November 25th, 2023, the officer responded to an audible alarm call at the incident location, that incident location being 5 Cleveland Avenue, Southeast Atlanta, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia. The officer observed the defendant standing on the property less than 3 feet from the entry of the door entry. Due to the officer's previous interactions with the defendant, the officer knew that he was not supposed to be there on the property because he was given a criminal trespass warning and had been arrested for a violation of said criminal trespass warning under case number 2303242105. Mr. Sonny, who officers noted that Mr. Sonny told them that he did not have a last name. Mr. Sonny is a victim in this case as well as the location, informed the officers that the defendant entered the property and began, and before leaving, after being told multiple times where Mr. Sonny picked up an incense and put it in his pocket and exited the store. Once the defendant left the store, Mr. Sonny followed him to retrieve the incident, and that is what at that time the defendant and the victim engaged in a physical altercation. The victim sustained a scratch to his right ear. The officer was able to view the victim's injury, and it had slight bleeding as a result of the incident. The store owner later arrived, the store owner being Mr. Rafiq, R-I-F-I-Q, Jabarini, J-A-B-R-A-N-I, arrived on the scene to present the officer with the camera footage. The incident that was described earlier was observed by the officer on the camera. The defendant later gave several false or inconsistent statements, to include that he was not even at the location, that he did not participate, that he did not have anything in his possession. It was later found as search incident to arrest that he possessed a glass crack pipe. I believe that is the indicia for the 5 charges that was mentioned, Your Honor. Our office, I don't believe, has been able to get in contact with Mr. Sonny, so if we can sound for him at the conclusion of the state's recommendation, or that'd be greatly appreciated. But the state's recommendation is, given the several open cases, looks like on 6/8/23, you just received another theft by shoplifting conviction, where he was criminally trespassed from the same location and received 12 months probation. The state's going to ask for, I think, what amounts to a $2,250 surety bond. I believe that comes out to be $250. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think that comes out. Let me correct that. That's not good math. $1,250 surety bond. That comes out to be $250 on each. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with either the victim in this case, that victim would be Mr. Sonny, or the owner of the establishment that whose last name was Jabarini, a stay away from that location to which he's previously been criminally trespassed from, and the completion of one anger management course, Your Honor.
Ms. Abden?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 56 years old. He's been living in Georgia his whole life. He lives with his sister, nephews, and cousin. And so he does have strong ties to the community. He is gainfully employed. He works in landscaping. He actually just started doing that 3 weeks ago. So he is hoping that he can be released so he can return to work and not lose his job. He's only been working there for 3 weeks, Your Honor. He's made less than $200. He's not in a position to pay any bond today. And so I'm asking Your Honor to take his indigency into consideration. He also has a minor daughter. She's 7 years old. She does live in the home with him and his sister and everyone else I mentioned. And he is co-parenting with her mother. I'm also asking you to take that into consideration, Your Honor. I do understand, as the state stated, there's allegedly, alleged false statements and video footage, but Your Honor, these are just mere allegations at this time. This is not an evidentiary hearing. And so he would not object to a no further contact, a stay away. He does firmly deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. And so I am requesting that Your Honor consider a signature bond through the jail, and if Your Honor is not inclined, then through pretrial services.
Okay. Mr. Calloway, I don't want you to lose your job. And you've been seemingly coming back for your other court hearing. So I'm going to give you a signature bond. It'll be $250 for each charge. Makes it a total of a $1,250 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Cleveland Avenue address. No further contact with Mr. Jabarini and Mr. Sonny. I don't believe that either Mr. Jabarini or Mr. Sonny are on the line. If they are, they should make themselves known. Doesn't appear that they are. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. So I'm going to let you out, Mr. Calloway, but you have to come back and then answer to the charges, okay?
Mr. Morrow, Mr. Adden, Mrs. Adden, thank y'all very, very much. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Good luck to you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Judge, what was the breakdown again? I'm sorry.
You find $250 per charge.
Thank you.
Okay.
That was through the jail, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Happy holidays, ma'am.
Court will be back in just a moment.
Position 2. Position 2, Belmont.
Good afternoon, Mr. Beaumont. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Beaumont, you've been charged in case 23 CR 007421C with theft by taking and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 16 arrest cycles in Georgia. Felony conviction in 2019 for fleeing and attempting to elude. The last arrest was February the 2nd, 2023 out of Clark County for a probation violation. There is 2 probation violations, 1 FTA. They appear to be on probation out of Clark County for obstruction of law enforcement officer. Nothing further.
Mr. Pierre Thomas?
Your Honor, brief facts of this case is that the defendant was seen on camera coming out from under the stairs after the restaurant had closed, that restaurant being Tacos and Tequila, which is located at 650 Ponce de Leon Avenue, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia. The defendant was also seen on camera sleeping in a booth at Tacos and Tequila after they were closed. The defendant was lastly also seen drinking alcohol out of 2 bottles from the restaurant. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state, and this is essentially kind of based on his criminal history. I think I see a 2019 DUI, Athens Clark, 2021 DUI, Lawrenceville, and 2022 DUI, Newton. I think it may be appropriate to have some sort of monitoring, Your Honor. I think the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a stay away from that incident location. And I guess in this sense, if we could have some sort of alcohol and drug evaluation and treatment as necessary, if the court is susceptible to doing that, it may be appropriate.
Okay, given that this is just a bond hearing at the present time, I'm not going to do that at the present time, especially given the 2 charges. I am inclined to give him a signature bond through pretrial, but I'll hear from you, Ms. Abden. I am inclined to give him a signature bond. I agree with Mr. Pierre Thomas that it should be some monitoring given the charges, and that would be through pretrial. But I'll hear from you, Ms. Abden, if you want to address
Yes,
that.
thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. So I do understand he does have a DUI history. It is worth pointing out that this incident did not involve a vehicle. And additionally, he shared with me that he has recently been in St. Jude's recovery for the substance abuse. And I have connected him with a social worker already. And he is, open to working with them in whatever way he can. He is 36 years old. He has lived in Georgia his whole life. He does have strong ties to the community. He graduated from high school. He did some college at Auburn. I'm not sure if I stated this already, but he is, as of his release a week ago from the facility, he's been residentially insecure. So that's why I also connected him with a social worker. I'm not sure if they've seen them yet, but I hope they will soon. He also has a follow-up interview at Smoothie King, Your Honor. He missed it. It was while he was in custody. He stated that the first interview went well, so he's hoping that he can go back and work there. Given his residential insecurity, the fact that he's unemployed, and he's going to qualify for PD services, we do have a good contact for him. I am requesting that signature bond be through the jail, as the pretrial might be too difficult for him given his circumstances.
Okay. For the theft, by taking $1,000 signature bond through the jail, for the criminal trespass, a $500 signature bond through the jail, makes for a total of a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the taco and tequila on Ponce. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. I'm going to let you out, Mr. Beaumont, but you're going to have to make sure to stay in touch with Ms. Abden's office and not miss any court hearings. Otherwise, the bond will be revoked, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, sir.
You
Thank
too.
you, Your Honor.
Position 10, Hudson.
How you doing?
Good afternoon, Mr. Hudson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. You agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Hudson, you've been charged in case 23 CR 007426Y with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 5 arrest cycles in Georgia. The last arrest was August the 19th, 2021. out of Fulton for simple battery. There's an open case out of Clayton for possession of a weapon, possession of drug-related objects, VGCSA. And then there's an open case out of Fulton. That number is 23 SC 189885 for purchase, possession, manufacture, distribution, sale of marijuana. Nothing further to report.
On the 2021 simple battery, is there a disposition on that?
I'm sorry, say that again, Your Honor.
The 2021 simple battery, is there a disposition?
Let me check Odyssey.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pierre Thomas?
I may have an answer to that. Brief facts of the case, Your Honor, is that on November 25th, 2023, the officers were dispatched to a dispute call at the incident location. That incident location is 748 Formwait Street, Formwait spelled Formwait, Street, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia. The victim and her mother, the victim actually being LaDeja, Ladeja Wells, Wells, and the mother's name is Tanika, Tanika Hudson, Hudson, advised that LaDeja's brother, the defendant, slapped her in the face during a verbal dispute. Ms. Hudson, the mother, advised that she did witness her son slap his sister. Our office was able to get in contact with the victim. The victim is the sister of the defendant. The victim confirmed the events in the warrant. The victim stated that this is the first time the defendant has been violent towards her, but it's not the first time the defendant has been violent towards other family members. The defendant's previous case is with another sister, 21 CR 0045446G. The victim stated that she is in fear of what the defendant will do and when he gets angry again. And she says that she does not want any contact with the defendant and does not want him to return back to the residence. I don't believe she's on the call, but if at the conclusion of the state's request, we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. The state is going to request a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim in this case and the mother, a stay away from the incident location and the completion of a anger management course.
Your Honor, that case was null pros.
If Miss Deja Wells or Miss Tanika Hudson, either of you are on the line and wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Okay, Miss Abden.
Your Honor, my client is 22 years old. He's lived in Georgia his whole life. He has a lot of family here in Georgia. He is a father to a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old. So he's actively, being a father with his children. The mother of his child is not working as she recently had a baby. So he is needed in the home to assist. My client firmly denies the allegations. He tells me that the prior case that we just heard about that was null pros, the reason it was null pros, and this is just what he told me, is because his family is quick to call the police to get him in trouble. It's something that they threaten him with a lot, is what he stated. And he does have somewhere else to stay, Your Honor. This is not an evidentiary hearing. I just wanted to share that with the court for some context on his end. And he would also agree to no further contact. He has other places to go. And I would ask Your Honor to accept the state's request for a signature bond through pretrial services, and allow him to return home to his children.
So he does not live at Wake Street address?
He will not be staying there moving forward.
Okay, I was asking because I want to know if he needs to go back there to collect his belongings. Yes, okay. So
I believe we should just put it on just in case he needs to.
Okay. He shook his head that he
Yeah,
needs to
I
go
think he
back
does
there.
need to get
Okay.
his stuff.
All right, so it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Deja Wells, stay away from the Farm Waite Street address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Hudson.
I accept the way, Judge. What was the bond amount?
A $2,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Thank you.
Okay.
Quick announcement for position number, Mr. Darren.
Position 7.
7.
Yes, that's gonna be waiver of appearance. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Does Mr. Darden have a history? Ms. Hardy, position 7.
Yes, Your Honor. That defendant has 46 cycles out of Georgia, 87 out of Florida, and 3 out of New York. Felony conviction in 2019 for criminal attempt to commit a felony. 2020, 2021, and 2023 felony convictions for theft by shoplifting. There appears to be a hold out of Douglasville and Americus. The last arrest was January 20th, 2023 out of Rockdale for theft by shoplifting. They appear to be on probation out of Douglas and out of Sumter, both for shoplifting. There are more than 10 probation violations and 4 FTAs. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Mr. Pierre Thomas.
Brief facts of the case, Your Honor. I know this is charged as a willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, but it appears that the defendant was caught with $300 worth of stolen items from the public supermarket located in Atlantic Station. The address is 1380 Atlantic Drive in Atlanta. The manager explained that he did not want to press charges, however, but he did want to get the things back and have the defendant criminally trespassed. The defendant was asked multiple times to stop moving and to give the officer the ID or first and last name so that the officer could properly issue the criminal trespass. Once officer and security officer positioned themselves in front of the defendant, he quickly tried to run away and ran towards the street, at which point he had to be detained. The recommendation from the state in this case is, given the notion that he really has reached his max on theft by shoplifting, so he's in felony range at this point, is a $1,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact, and a stay away from the Publix location.
Which Publix is that?
That's the one in Atlantic Station, 1380
Okay.
Atlantic Drive.
All right. Given that he's only charged with willful obstruction, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Publix at Atlantic Station, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right. Is that fine with you, Ms. Abden?
No objection. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. And it looks like that's the end of the calendar. Is that right, Ms. Bridgewater?
It is. It is.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is December the 12th. Position number 1 is being reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 2 is reset further notice with a total $1,500 SOB through the jail. Position 3 is reset further notice with a total $1,250 SOB through the jail. 4 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 5 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 6, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 7 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 8, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 9 is reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 10 reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 11 is reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through the jail. 12, reset further notice with a SOB through the jail of $1,000. Position 13 is reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 14, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 15, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 16 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 17, reset further notice with a $1,000 total SOB through the jail. 18, reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 19 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 20 going to the SAP calendar with a total $3,000 good bond. 21, reset further notice with a $2,500 SOB through the jail. 22 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Add-on position number 1 is reset further notice with a $20,000 SOB through the jail. And add-on number 2 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
Anything?
And Your Honor, if there are no corrections or whatever, I would just like to send out my heartfelt condolences to the Public Defender's Office. I want you all to know that your loss is our loss as well. And if there's anything any of us can do for you guys, please let us know.
Thank you, Ms. Holly. That's really sweet.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Your Honor, it's on you.
I think Ms. Bridgewater has said it all, so we appreciate your assistance this afternoon, and I will see you next time. All right, y'all be safe.
Bye. Thank you.